Hello and welcome to the Winning Agenda's coverage of some Twilight Struggle. My name is Jesse Marshall and I'm here with a game against Youngbae from South Korea, a very strong player who I am playing against in the Stalin division of the Reddit Twilight Struggle League. So I'm going to select a card to headline here, which is kind of difficult because we've got a few excellent headlines. So we've pretty much got all the four best US headlines for turn one, which probably means we're going to try and hold one of them for turn two if we can, because everything else is also pretty good. So Defectors is strong, Middle East scoring obviously strong as well. I think we have to go with, no, we don't have to, but I think I prefer to go with Middle East scoring here, although starting with Marshall is obviously pretty strong as well. Let's just see how this goes. All right, well, they succeeded, picked up a couple of VPs, but then we also managed to pick up the Middle East VPs, which is nice. So we'll probably use test ban here. Interesting, no coup there, AR1. This may indicate that they've got Korean War. But what I'm going to do, I think, is go... 1, 2, 3, 4. Take the punt on Korean War. If they've got it, they've got it. They've got to roll another 4+. But if they don't, then we give ourselves a chance to hold on to South Korea, which, considering the Asia scoring, I think is good. I think we'll probably hold Marshall for next turn. It looks like there's not going to be heaps of action in Europe. And headlining Marshall next turn might be good. We might need the ops later this turn, particularly if it lets us actually push for an Asia dom, although that seems pretty unlikely. May have been a mistake to not go one Pakistan and one Iraq there, actually, on second thoughts. I think if they coup Iran here now, that's a fair bit more annoying. But getting the adjacency to Thailand was also good. Because, yeah, you kind of obviously always run up against these forks as the US player on turn one. Whether you want... You can't do everything, so do you want to keep... particularly if they go AR1 into South Korea, do you want to give yourself a chance to hold on to South Korea? Do you want to be threatening Thailand in case they have a Thailand access card as well? Do you want to try and hold on to this access if they don't coup AR1 like that? And do you want to try and also shore up Europe and threaten the Europe domination? So yeah, we can't do everything, but probably was a mistake not to put one into Iraq there. Yeah, I don't really like one into Pakistan there. And then playing into Afghanistan also obviously makes it more difficult for us to place influence there. We're certainly not going to spend 2 ops to place one into Afghanistan. So yeah, I don't know. This was maybe more aggressive. See how we go. At least we're testing out their ops a little bit here. So playing 3 into Thailand at DEFCON 5 is like pretty meh. Playing into Pakistan though at DEFCON 5, like they can coup with the China card, but I'd much rather they coup Pakistan with the China card, I think, than Thailand. DEFCON obviously doesn't go all the way down. If that happens, the question is like, are we going to get into a position where we can dominate here? And the answer is like, maybe. Depends. If we played into Pakistan and then they cooed with the China card, I think the chances of us dominating are highly unlikely. But then at that point, they've got domination if they take control of Pakistan. So we've got a couple of options. Like we could go 1, 2, 3, and then like they've got to IP war or coup Pakistan. We could go... we could play Marshall Plan for a 4th op, but assuming that we want to only play a 3 up here rather. We could play into Thailand, which I think is worse. We could play into Japan, but then they can play into Pakistan. The other advantage to playing into Pakistan is it gives us the adjacency to Iran, so they can't kick us out of this region entirely in 1AR. So I think I prefer that than going into Japan here, and I think I also prefer than going to Iraq. So we'll give this a go. Not something that you will have seen me do before. I don't think I've ever, as a US player, played 3 ops into Pakistan on turn 1, but, you know, different desperate times call for desperate measures. So our opponent predictably does come back with the China card coup, and now I think we will coup with Marshall Plan here, because yes, we've lost all of our good cards, but this actually gives us a chance to dominate Asia. So a good roll here, 3+, let's go. Nice. So they, like I said before, they could have IP war. They're now rolling at a 5+. We've secured... Okay, so they've got IP war, they have, and they did not succeed, which means we get the Asia scoring VPs, which we're pretty happy about as a US on turn 1. We can now take a deep breath, play into Thailand. And then coup. Probably actually want to coup here first, just to protect ourselves from... so firstly, we need to lower DEFCON so that they can't coup. And secondly, so they can't coup at DEFCON 4 on Pakistan or Thailand. And secondly, it protects Iran just a little bit. So let's go ahead and do that, I think. Yeah, let's coup Iraq. So failure, and then we've got 2 ups from Olympic Games for our last AR. So our opponent's gone the triple space race this turn. I don't know about, I mean, I guess spacing special relationship is something, but I'm not 100% sure about that there. The other option is for us to play into North Korea here, but I think that feels a little bit weaker. I know that Asia scoring's out of the way, and like maybe there's an argument for playing into France there, but I think Thailand's a pretty important country, so giving ourselves the best chance at that is good. So we'll headline defectors this time, I think. Duck and cover does protect us from... thanks, artificial intelligence. Welcome to the stream. Defectors does protect us from... like decol here in the headline phase. We've got De Gaulle and Suez Crisis, so we can punt Suez Crisis for minimal impact and then play it back into Europe. We'll have to probably space De Gaulle, hold D style, hopefully. So the question is, do we want to really headline duck and cover or defectors? So duck and cover protects Iran. Defectors protects us from really decol at this point, which is pretty good, but they can just play it in an AR. But then again, decol also gets them France at the moment, so I think we'll just defectors in case they've got it. Vietnam, so that was good. It's a good get. So now if they go decol, we haven't got a 4-op to respond with to allow us to take France and protect Thailand, because they can put 1 with decol into Algeria, 1 into Thailand, and we'd then have to play the China card, but that'll be okay. And then a bad roll on a coup for them is brilliant news for us. So we can now event Suez Crisis, get that out of here. And then we've got sweet ops and some like blue 3-ops as well in hand, which is always nice. So 1, 2, 3, I think. We're not too worried about getting to India urgently, but we just want to be progressing our way across these African battlegrounds at the moment. But we will go to India a little bit later this turn, hopefully. So out of these 6 ops, they're playing Fidel. We probably want to play Romanian at some point soon. Okay, so they're boxing us in a little bit there. So yeah, out of these remaining 7 ops, we want to go at least 1, probably 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then try and take a European non-battleground as well. So the India one might have to wait. So for the moment, let's go 1, 2-3. We're holding D-style, so we're okay for blockade. That looks good. So then, yeah, I think Algeria, which also lets us walk across to Libya. Maybe that would have been better there, actually. All right, so definitely the dice have been going our way, but, you know, like we took some calculated risks and they're paying off, so that's good. It doesn't always happen that way. Duck and cover. Let's go. I think we'll actually want to overprotect Thailand maybe here as a priority over Algeria, even though Algeria gets us across to this part of... Maybe we want... I don't really want to put one in Algeria. It's tough. One Algeria does make it cool, but then again, we've got a lot of coup targets, a lot of good coup targets for them. Let's go back into UK because we want to turn special relationship on again for when it gets reshuffled. I'm tossing up whether we'll probably play independent reds with our next. I was going to say whether we want to set the trap for Truman Doctrine. But now that Truman Doctrine's gone, we definitely won't be eventing independent reds here, I don't think. So we actually gain some more ops back from that. So we get to Space de Gaulle AR6 instead. So let's go Romanian into UK. Actually, we don't really need to do that right now. Let's go Romanian into Tunisia. And then we can go independent reds, one into UK, one into Libya if we want to here. So, okay. Well, I think in that case, we'll just go two into Libya. Because that way it's harder for them to score a presenceless Middle East against us next turn. Pretty helpful CIA. Okay. So US, Japan in hand. We'll place one into UK. Unfortunate for us that obviously the CIA gets to go without being DEFCON suicidal for them, but all things considered, that's a pretty good op for us, getting us Europe domination, and them not being in the mid-war countries is also pretty sweet. So I think we've got decol and destal, so we can deny them both of those. We've got 3-4 ops, so an extremely strong hand. We've got Europe scoring. They've got socialist governments. But I think if we just headline Red Scare, then we're in pretty good shape. So they're going to headline socialist governments almost certainly. And then take some out of West Germany and France, and then we're just going to have the ops to be able to fight back. So that will be good. So there's that socialist governments we predicted. UN interventioning the US-Japan, I presume. All right. For a not great coup on Libya. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll take that domination back again. And then, yeah, we're in pretty good shape. So US-Japan out of the way until turn 7 means we probably want to take Japan. We probably also want to take India in case they redraw the IP war. So we also want to inoculate ourselves against brush war, and we want to build up this Africa position. So we can't do all of those things this turn. We can space decol, blockade away the D-style. Do we want to take India for the purposes of the IP war, making it difficult for them to kick us out of the entire region? I mean, obviously they can then 5+ themselves on India. I think that's probably better than taking both of these countries, but I think I would like to get a few more VPs out of Southeast Asia, and I would also like to try and get Africa to domination as well. So let's see, if we go 1, 2, maybe just 1 in India, 3, and 4, then maybe a couple of the independent Reds influence we can chuck around somewhere later on. If they've got Middle East scoring, they can have the domination here. We're getting the Europe domination, so that's all good. Fine. We'll take that. And then, yeah, so we've got 3 ops for the rest of the turn, and we get to get rid of decal and D-star, so that's pretty good. Alright, so overprotecting there. We'll trigger event, discard that, place 1 in. Panama would also be nice, I think. Yeah, let's go 1 in Panama, and then maybe. Yeah, so then I think it's India or more ups into Southeast Asia here, probably. Mexico is also an option, but okay, 5U planning away the Asia scoring, and then they have no cards in hand, so they miss their next AR. Nice for us. So we can place influence. We could get into South America here, so like we could place influence into Colombia, and then they miss an AR, and on our AR7 we get to go into Venezuela, but I don't think that's super strong given that they then get very possibly the coup. I mean, they obviously might not get the coup, but yeah, I think that's not ideal. Asia scoring being out of the way makes India less appealing. Mexico's still okay. I guess we can also get Africa control if we hold the decal, and that's actually pretty good, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. We wouldn't quite. Actually, yeah, we could. We could get both Venezuela and Africa control, but that would require us to. No, we can't do that. We have to go 1, 2, and then we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can get 1 into Venezuela, but we can't get control of it. But I guess we could have 2 in South Africa. Yeah, I think I don't mind this take Nigeria, take Venezuela play. I think it's fine to utilize the double action around here. One, 2, 3. Let's just overprotect Venezuela, I think. I like that. All right. So we got semi-punished for holding decal because we have a few red cards in hand, but we also got rewarded for the South America play. So we can't, like, Junta is like somewhat not great as a headline here. Like, it lets us get into Argentina, for example, but they still get to coup us. So I actually think we want to use that as an action round play. I actually think we want to headline Latin American death squads, as weird as that is. So let's go ahead and do that, just to dissuade them from cooing us in South America, and then we can try and set up a control this turn, ideally. All right, so they've gone the Africa angle instead. They may have Africa scoring, but that's okay. If we spend this turn setting up South America domination and lose a bit of position in Africa, I'm all right with that. Cooing with defectors giving us a VP back, but taking Zaire. Then we'll transport. How's it going? Now, what do we want to do here? Posture check, yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. It was not looking great. I think we probably want to Arab-Israeli war, but then again, I don't just want to get brush war at Venezuela here. That'd be kind of brutal. I mean, we can't really spend the turn playing around brush war because we're going to go into Argentina with this hunter at some point, and if they brush war us, it's kind of a blowout. So what can we do? I guess if we want to mitigate brush war impacts a little bit, we can do this. I think UN intervention came out in turn 3. Yes. Definitely obligatory. The old posture check. So we've got 7 from South America scoring at the moment. I guess it's, do we want to... So Brush War and ABM are the only things that are going to counter this hunter or punish us for playing it. Okay. Liberation Theology, eh? Well, we want the one in Panama. The question is, do we want to try and realign it? I think so. So let's place here and then try realigning Panama. And then realigning Mexico. Okay, well, can't have everything go our way. I think we've been relatively lucky so far with how most things have played out. So there's that brush war that we were worried about. That's pretty sad because it does cost us 3 points, or 6 points effectively. We're scoring this for 4 when otherwise it'd be 10, but we took the punt and we lost on that one, but that's okay. So our hand was pretty good, but their hand was pretty good as well. Now we'll just kind of, the turn's probably going to peter out a little bit as far as we're concerned, unfortunately. Perhaps not. Maybe I'm going to go Botswana here, I think. Because they're still disincentivized to coup. Actually, I'm not going to do it with that. I'm going to do it with this. They're still disincentivized to coup non-battlegrounds at this stage because we don't have mill-ops. So let's go ahead and take that. Yeah, so look, very unfortunate brush war, but still not feeling too bad about our position across the board. There's still plenty of good US cards out there. So we'll get rid of this. No dice on the space. A 1 small step would be kind of brutal for us here. Unfortunately, they get a second space attempt now. Yeah, realized I'm USA. Yeah, that's a good reason. Removing influence in 3 countries. I see. I assumed that they were spacing that incorrectly. So that brush war on Argentina is worth a lot of VPs, but at least we didn't lose Italy or Thailand or something. So let's hope we'll try and hold this Allende and just see if we can get them to commit some more resources there. So shuttle diplomacy. I think let's go into Uruguay because it helps to make our part of South America a little more stable. Japan is coming back at some point. I think overprotecting France might be the way to go here. Just because we want that at some point. We've still got Japan that we might want to pick up, although, I'm always loath to spend ops to pick up Japan when US-Japan Pact is still out there, albeit not coming back till turn 7, but by the same token, Asia's scoring's not coming back till turn 7 either. Overprotecting Mexico. We could event Allende, event Fidel, and then just try realigning both Cuba and Mexico. I think I'd probably just rather give them Allende though. And place an influence in Zimbabwe, I think, because now if we get a coup on Angola, say we get grain sales here, then we can realign both South Africa and Zaire pretty profitably, or if we get nuclear subs. So this is a pretty good ask not, but it's also a pretty good nuclear subs. I'm probably happy enough to ask not this towards the end of the turn, like in the middle of the turn rather, and just nuclear subs headline. Puppet government's like not doing an amazing amount for us here, since we've already got access to Cuba and everywhere else is kind of done, as weird as that is on turn 5. So yeah, I think it's probably nuclear subs here. All right. Well, that's a little unfortunate. Although, obviously, this now demands that they coup our Africa situation rather than South America, which helps keep South America a little more stable. But yeah, obviously reduces the effectiveness of our realign plan somewhat. Shay getting in the way. So they've got China. We also want to overprotect South Korea this turn. That's something else to remember. So I think these two are our coups, especially since they've already got 5 mil-ops. That makes me far less inclined to want to how I land for the event. So we might go coup with those. We might event Bear Trap, and then we'll ask not. Okay, De Gaulle for the event. AL1, that's very interesting. Maybe we play We Will Bury You here. Kind of think that could work. Let's see, we can go 1, 2. 3, 4. Say no coup for you. Perhaps putting the one in Nigeria rather than South Korea is actually better than 1, 2, 3, 4. Just because then if we deprive them of a coup, holding Nigeria is going to be kind of important there. And this way we get to hopefully coup Angola and threaten the South Africa rail line. Yeah. I do still like event Bear Trap at the end of the turn, I think. Especially because they've got double space, and I imagine that they're going to space kind of aggressively. That has been what they've been doing anyway so far. Anyway. Botswana rail lines. Yeah, that is a possibility. But they failed, so that's good. All right, well, puppet government's incoming. And we got there. So they could just flip us here. And then I'd probably just coup with this and then pull the trigger on this. You did call it. That was a good call. That was a good call. I'm surprised that we're not up with kitchen debates, to be honest, but I guess we are not. That's interesting. Very interesting. Cool. Well, now we can just go 1, 2. Opponent stream sniping, yeah, possibly. No, Youngbae would never do that. I'm very sure. So they go to 1 ahead. We'll just event this, see what we get, so that we can actually coup with some of the rest of our stuff, hopefully. VOA is kind of sweet always, but they are pretty overprotected in mid-war regions, so it's not amazing. JP goes to space. Good. Hopefully they space again in the next AR and then we can bear trap them. Yeah, now I'm kind of annoyed that we got rid of that puppet government. So Voice of America, we can go 3 hours left. So we can go 1 is Realigns, then 2 is Voice of America, 3 is Bear Trap, or 2 is Bear Trap, 3 is Voice of America. But then we're holding this Quagmire, which I don't love. And I'm not really super keen on cooing anywhere anyway. Like the only thing I'd do with my ops would be realign South Africa. So I actually think we'll just space this. It does deprive them of a second space, and then the whole plan is to bear trap them. So that maybe that's not ideal, because we kind of want them spending their ARs getting rid of their good US cards, but whatever. That works out fine. So now, do we want to bear trap Voice of America, or do we want to Voice of America bear trap? So Voice of America, we're probably going 2 out of North Korea, 2 out of, geez, I don't even know, Mexico. Can't really wipe them out of anywhere with the VOA, annoyingly. Yeah, those coups and significant overprotection kind of sucks. But I think we just go this and then VOA next. If they've got grain sales or something and they were planning on spacing it, whatever. Camp David Accords, okay, well that's annoying, because I kind of wouldn't have minded that. So let's play this for 1, 2, 3, 4, and see if that picks us up either a coup or one of those 2 countries. All right, Southeast Asia and Central America. So we've got grain sales, rear guards, containment, all of which are amazing headlines here. I think we probably want to hold the containment for next turn, because I think colonial rear guards and grain sales are more relevant in this headline phase. Grain sales I think is good, because we probably want to go into Nigeria once DEFCON is down anyway, and they don't know it's coming. So what have we got? We've also got Southeast Asia scoring, which we control the timing of, which is nice, which we can score for max points, hopefully. Cool, so let's go with grain sales. And a Brezhnev doctrine for them, so probably want to try and... Alright, interesting. I think we want to return that and then coup with grain sales. Or maybe not coup. Yeah, I think we want to coup because we need to degrade DEFCON, don't we? So maybe we coup Argentina. Although knowing that they have Africa scoring, they're probably just going to play straight into Nigeria or something. But, that's a tough one. So I think this is, I can't actually read that chat yet. I think with rear guards, we're happy enough to just take the coup here. This is the only luck in favor of me. Yes, that is true. is a good one for our opponent, us picking the Africa scoring there. Great UI, 10 out of 10, yeah. Ain't that right? So influence going 1 Nigeria, totally fair, 1 North Korea, 1 Argentina. Okay, so they are under Brezhnev doctrine, so we do need to be a bit careful here. I think we'll take Argentina because it's pretty important. And then does this even up Africa? Yeah, good. Although it does give them a good coup target, doesn't it? But I think we need to even up Africa, this AR anyway. Even if they coup there now, we then get to rearguards 2 of their battlegrounds away, which is pretty strong. No thanks, Hangle Hill. I'm happy being decidedly non-famous. That's all good with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. They just played Vietnam, but I think I'd rather take Philippines anyway there. Thanks, Transport. So our opponents, flush with ops this turn, given that they're under Brezhnev, giving us that. Okay, so we've got the option here to realign South Africa, which we're going to take, and we're going to do it with Comic-Con. So that'll be not ideal. Okay. So that was one of those Southern Africa realigns that just doesn't work out for you. And we'll cop the beat on the Africa scoring because of that. So we'll hit this Central America scoring, I think. So we can go for domination, but I think I'm happier not playing into Cuba. Although we are pretty low on the space race track, so Ortega shouldn't be too much of a problem. I think maybe let's just go... Yeah, let's just pop this for 1 to them, and then we'll play the... we probably want to containment next turn, hey? Okay, so Usuri is still in the deck. Let's go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which gets us max points for Southeast Asia scoring. Let's just play Cultural Revolution, and let's just hold IP War and Containment. I think that's where we want to be. So we get 8 points from Southeast Asia. Okay. Pop that. Now I think we head into the reshuffle in decent shape. Things didn't quite work out the way we wanted in Africa, but that's okay. I think we're looking all right in South America, Asia, and Europe. Hope we can hold it there. Okay. Cool. So let's go Cultural Revolution 1, 2, 3. I think, is that the best break for us? No, I don't think so. I think it's actually 1, 2, 3 into Chile. Is that better? Or is it better to overprotect South Korea? I think it's better to break them somewhere. The Chile break lets us try and set up the Peru relines. Mexico's not amazing. Like Japan could be okay. North Korea also could be okay, particularly if they draw Usuri next turn. Or if we're planning to be out of containment. Yeah, I think this is okay. It makes them kind of need to fight for North Korea, so I'm okay with that. So a decent hand in terms of access, but access is not what we need. It's got bad ops, but thankfully containment can help us out with that. No discard pile, so Salt is no good, but it's now a 4-op card, so I guess that's something. IP War and our man in Tehran both helping us out by becoming 3-op cards. We'll probably play Sadat for the event. Might play OAS Founded into Peru. But we'll see how we go. They might coup us somewhere else in South America. We might reevaluate where that OAS goes. So we've still got, what, Usuri, Alliance for Progress in their hand. Would have been nice if they'd drawn all these 1-op US cards, but that's okay. Cool. We'll give them Salt Negotiations, I think. Defcon up to 5. There's not really heaps of good coups for them. And they get to get back nothing. That seems better than giving them Marshall Plan, doesn't it? Yeah, let's do that. And -1 to coup rolls for them is also relevant. Since we're under containment, ideally our coup should be slightly better than theirs on average, despite our plethora of 1-op cards, well, 2-op cards in hand. So Angola is our weakest target to coups. Obviously they could coup Italy, but they're at -1. They can coup Thailand also at -1, but it's a China card coup on Thailand, I guess, would not be ideal. But we have got pretty solid realigns there at least. As far as realigns go for them, maybe they go South Korea, Algeria, France, West Germany. None of them look great. Yeah. So I think this is okay. Putting Defcon up to 5 always interesting when you're ahead on the board, but I think it's the right thing to do here and better than giving them a 4-op in the headline phase. And they can't really give us Asia control. So I think if they're going to coup somewhere, they probably have to coup Thailand. But then that does leave North Korea a bit vulnerable for them. And it leaves them vulnerable to Thailand realigns too. I mean, Iran or Libya is also an option. Italy is also more of a long shot option. Or maybe Argentina if they want to try and claw their way back there. Or there's just Angola if they want to go for more scores out of Africa. But I don't feel like that's really going to help them close out the game. It might help them get to war games, I guess, if that's the plan. Which is something that we have to be cautious of, particularly since we have, again, got no sources of VPs other than this in our hand, which we probably want to play for ops. Okay, cooing with Cuban Missile Crisis on Angola. Okay, so it looks like they are going the kind of fast VPs, war games-ish plan. I think we might just coup back there in any event because we need mill-ups, although maybe we'd rather just pressure North Korea with this. And then try and get the mill-ups somewhere else. Yeah, I guess we've got IP War for emergency mill-ups here anyway, which is also VPs. And it's kind of like a difficult one for them if they coup here. So yeah, they do fork over the China card in order to retake North Korea. It's fair enough. So now I think we do take the coup, even at -1 on Angola. And then we're gonna, yeah, probably event Sadat as well, just because it helps to even up another continent. All right, so a solid coup for them to finish off, but yeah, I guess NORAD is something at least to get out of that. So let's take Canada. We can do that towards the end of the turn. Let's event Sadat for now. Just try and keep the pressure up on them. We'll go Summit probably. We want to go at least one here this turn, I think. One here and two here. And then we want to get the 2 into Peru and try the realign on Chile. That Shay on us in Africa was so devastating at the time that came out. Also the brush war on Argentina. Those are 2 big moments that went against us. All right, well, at least we can pick that up. I think we don't want to worry about the Indo-Pakistani war. Summit event, nah, I don't think we're going to be doing that. We could definitely end up being the high roller, but we could also not be the high roller. All right, well, sometimes you get baited. So we end up back where we started. But, you know, it did cost them 4 up. That's something. There have been more devastating Muslim revolutions in the history of Twilight Struggle, so we'll just kind of take that. So this turn didn't work out super well for us as far as a containment turn goes, but we were behind on ops, like with the number of 1-ops we had in hand. They had a pretty good hand, and we got them to play the China card. So, and we gave them an empty, well, largely empty, because all they basically succeeded in doing was cooing Angola once across 3 different action rounds. Okay. Largely empty Salt negotiations headline was what I was trying to say. 1 to Spain, 1 to Greece, 1 to Greece. Alrighty then. Let's go play this event, I think. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because I think, oh, did I not click one? I just miscounted, or did I not put one in France? Let's just make sure. I did not put one in France. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And do we want another one in the UK? Or do we want in Austria? Maybe we want one in Denmark, actually. So they, look, if they got Europe scoring here, annoying. But this helps, I think, in the longer term to accomplish what we wanted to accomplish, which is holding on to Europe domination and getting Canada. So with these last 2 ops, I mean, again, we haven't gone to South Korea. Probably want to think about doing that, although we do have the China card now. But ABM treaty, of course, that was still outstanding, and that's a coup on Argentina. Annoying. So let's place with Panama in there and there, so we get at least a NORAD trigger next turn, hopefully. And we've got some pretty sweet action in this hand. Yeah, it definitely could be good, but Europe was where we were at in like trying to restabilize Europe was good there, I think. Getting Canada is good because of NORAD, and now we've got some interesting plays here with tear down this wall, I think. We can also tear down this wall later in the turn if we're not planning on cooing, which I don't think we are anyway. We can headline Soviets shoot down. We've got some amazing options here for the headline phase. And then we've got some good options for later in the turn. So I'm actually like pretty torn about all this. So we've got basically heaps of tools to fight back everywhere we want to, including a UN intervention for this flower power if we want it. Just trying to think what's going to get us ahead the furthest quickly with this hand. It's kind of tough. I think grain sales puts the most pressure on them, but we can also use grain sales in the middle of the turn. Like, that's the good thing about tear down this wall and grain sales, whereas Soviets we kind of have to use in the headline phase. So I think we will just use that and probably place into Argentina or something. We'll see what they've headlined, but our headline is going to be this. Okay. Well, in that case, I presume that they're going to try and brush war Italy. And so I want to place 4 in Austria. Because I just think that's too important here. Could place 4 in Austria or 4 in Yugoslavia, doesn't really matter. Austria helps slightly with the rear lines on East Germany if we want to event tear down this wall. Neither's going to be, like, the realignments on East Germany is still not going to be amazing. But I think this way, I think we just want to protect Italy at this point. We just don't want to let them make another incursion. Good. Okay, strong start from them as well. I think they're holding Ussuri though, if I'm not mistaken. So going for the Central America domination. So Junta can let us realign them out of Mexico by huntering into Guatemala. But if our rolls are bad, then that's pretty bad news. But I think that's probably what we want to do with this anyway. Like, that's our best play with it now that we've lost Argentina. So let's just go for that. I was going to do it on Cuba, but I'm happy enough to do it on Mexico. Okay. Whew. Finally, some ray lines played out for us. So now with this flower power, all right, so they're just taking the 1 from Central America scoring. So I think we will still go into Mexico, but we'll probably take Japan. Let's see. So tear down this wall, realigns are still not going to be amazing. I mean, we might get lucky on Poland, but it's extremely unlikely. It's anywhere in Europe, isn't it? Yeah, so I mean, we can try and realign them out of Greece and Portugal, I suppose. I think I'm still happy to take that, but we might do that last AR. I think we'll just event grain sales now. Because I just want to cut their hand size and I don't want... well, let's play that. So we'll just place 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to cut their hand size, and I also wouldn't mind getting the no-rad triggers next turn. Like, I know we still, like, degrading DEFCON in the headline phase is still good, but okay, forces them to space the duck and cover. So we can also, how I learned at the end of the turn, to try and get some VPs as well, if we want to. We also got OAS for Argentina, which I actually don't mind here, because I know that we're thinking of OASing Peru, but I think OASing Argentina, because I think we've put a bit of pressure on their hand this turn. And I'm fairly sure they're carrying Usuri. I don't recall having seen it. We are indeed going to see Usuri. I mean, I guess it's not super devastating for them, but that at least puts it to the range where we can pressure them in North Korea. It's UN intervention, flower power. Maybe we just want to jam into North Korea here, actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4. UN intervention, place influence 1, 2, 3, 4. So they've got no presence currently there. To in Australia to flex. Yeah. Or 2 in New Zealand. Yeah, if only. It's not even on the map. Poor New Zealand. Doesn't even feature on this map of the world, apparently. Okay. So they got 3 back in there. 3 VPs or 2 VPs? 3 VPs for us. Nice. AR5, they've got 2 more cards. So I think, look, we could go NATO back into North Korea. Like, I kind of like that, but NATO into North Korea, or do we want to try and flip Argentina? I think I do like this. If we can get them off North Korea, then we get quite a lot out of that in terms of VPs and inevitability. And we've solidified Europe a fair bit by defraying that brush war this turn. I mean, never say never, but I would feel pretty good about it if they did not have another 3 up here. Okay, this is really interesting now, actually. So we could play the China card and then carry across these 2 cards, which makes it rather difficult for us to lose to DEFCON. I think I like that. Overprotect there. Yeah, okay, so maybe we're not carrying across the how I learned, but still feel okay. So Nixon can get us back the China card. 5-year plan can attack their hand. Camp David Accords gets us a VP and messes with their Middle East stuff. Yeah, I should have. It was not the best. So anyway, we're doing this tear down this wall despite everything else that we said earlier. So they've headlined the Reformer. we'll, I think, attempt coups. So they get to add 6 VPs. I think we'll coup Poland here. Okay. An unfortunate failure. I don't think there were better realignments for us there. We could have realigned one out of France, but okay, so they play it relatively defensively here and then score Europe. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. But realign's more fun. Wasn't it +2 on East Germany? Yeah, maybe we could have realigned East Germany. That's true. It was +1 on East Germany, not +2, because they had more influence in it. But yeah, I think the upside of queuing Poland, like if you roll a 4, 5, or 6, it's pretty good for us there. There's 50-50 that we deprive them of the ability to take it back with the Reformer, whereas I think the odds are maybe the odds are slightly better on 3 realigns. I don't know. I didn't have time to do the maths in my head on that one. I think we'll just play Camp David Accords first. Oh no, we want to take Turkey. We want to take Turkey back. There's no rush on that. We're not going to go ahead on space, I don't think, so let's just go that way. Yeah, so we can Camp David Accords next AR. We've got this Iran-Contra scandal and Yuri and Samantha for later in the turn. Cooing Colombia is a little bit annoying. Let's just play the Camp David Accords now because we're threatening battleground countries by doing that. And then actually we might event this shuttle diplomacy because if there's a Middle East scoring, we could actually dominate them with that, I think. Depends. Maths say realigns are better on equal with a 4-op coup on a 2-stab country, but nobody likes losing influence. That's true. Nobody likes losing influence at all. 1, 2, 3. Let me just check. Duck and cover is in the bin. So I think we're okay to 5-year plan here. But we probably don't need to. Let's just do this. So we could do that and 5-year plan, but I don't, considering we've had Soviets duck and covers out of the way and tear down this wall is gone, I don't think there are any remaining ways that we can kill them with 5-year plan anyway. So let's just go with ops. So they've had Marine barracks bombing to respond to our Camp David Accords, and they had Muslim Revolution to respond to our Sadat. 27 total influence put on North Korea. Yeah. Indeed. We could try and be a little bit more aggressive probably here with putting pressure on. Okay. That's pretty aggressive. We'll just do this just in case. I mean, we could have put the one in Costa Rica a bit earlier because that was obviously what they're going to try and do with that Colombia coup, but that's a lot of ops to be putting into realigns there. So they're currently getting 10 to our 18. So they do need to flip a little bit around in the next couple of turns. Okay. Puppet Govs is still a little bit helpful, I think. So we can get some European non-battlegrounds with it. You can get like 2 in European non-battlegrounds and access to Peru. I don't know if that's better than just playing, considering we've already got 2 European non-battlegrounds at 3. It's probably better to just place the influence, and I don't think the realigns on Chile is going to happen. So maybe let's just do some of this. I think we just want to pressure them in Poland here. And then with the last couple of ARs, we can take non-battlegrounds in Europe if we want to. Who built the house on the Atlantic Ocean? Oh, doesn't it look nice? A log cabin with the trees. Spacing, interesting. I think we'll play Iran Contra Scandal. And then we'll play Yuri and Samantha and hold on to this puppet governments. Oh, hydrate. It's pretty slim pickings in the water bottle, I've got to say. All right, Asia scoring. That is what we wanted to see. Hopefully that will get us there, fingers crossed. Despite the absolute disrespect that we've had for coups this game. All right, don't like seeing that, but hopefully we will be okay since we've sandbagged the China card here. Select a card to headline. East European unrest could be good. An evil empire is a VP. South America's scoring gets out of the way. I think we'll just headline East European unrest here. Like, we don't want to headline South America scoring in case they've got... Could they have redrawn ABM here? They played on turn 7. What a great hand. Yeah, it's good except for this lone gunman, which when DEFCON's the only way you can lose the game, it's always scary having a DEFCON suicide card in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So hopefully we don't get destroyed here by that. So 6 points Africa scoring. Let's see if they go for East Germany here and let us dump this lone gunman. Terrorism and Iran-Contra scandal are still out there, so I'm pretty scared of that. But we'll just go ahead and play the game. Or do we want to place one in Argentina? No, we don't. Mistake. They meant to event Warsaw Pact? Probably. Yeah, I'm nervous. Liberation Theology coup. Oh, okay. They have suicided. Thanks for the game. So that must have been a misclick on the Warsaw Pact. That's unfortunate. But thanks for watching the game. It's been good to have you all along. I'll be back actually with another game against Zimovit, another player in the Stalin division shortly. That will be in about 45 minutes time. So if you want to come back for that game on stream, please feel free. For those of you on YouTube, thanks for watching and thanks for the support. And if you are watching on Twitch or on YouTube, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all those great things if you want to support the channel and if you enjoy the content. And otherwise, I will see you in about 45 minutes for another game if you're on Twitch. Cheers.